Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today we'll be discussing the patch notes of version 1.0.23 anniversary celebrations. So this anniversary event will take place on March 13th. So on March 13th, we will have several things. On March 13th, we will have a anniversary celebration. So that's the 14 days event, which includes city themes, avatar frames, and nameplates. So similar to the Chinese New Year event, where we got like the infantry city theme, the dragon avatar frame, we're gonna be getting something like that, but for the anniversary. Now, we will also be getting sign-in souvenirs. So for 7 days straight, we'll be gifted rewards. There's also anniversary gifts where you can claim your gem bundles as a token of our thanks. Now, I guess the most important thing here would be the Greatest Heights. So, Greatest Heights, as you may know, it's the legendary city skin. And I'm assuming that this Greatest Heights, which is going to be starting on the 13th of March, will most likely be calves. Considering the trend of how it went from mages to archers, and then since archers counter as mages, they're most likely going to send out a cav skin, which counters archers. And in terms of the stat it would give, my take would be that it's a cav HP skin. Because we already have a cav attack and cav defense skin. The cav defense skin from the holidays event, and the cav attack skin from when you hit 1.5 million power in the first week of your server. So there's also another thing that we haven't had recently, or haven't had at all, which is the artifact throwback. So you can pick up limited time offers of legendary artifacts from previous seasons. And yeah, there's escort events, so this is like anniversary themed. And there's more PvE content, which is the automaton raid. So that covers it for the anniversary. We'll now be moving on. So these are just some general changes about like the naming. Like season S2 plus is now known as season B1. And when there was issues of people complaining about the S2 map, I feel like they would be changing some parts of the S2 to make it more enjoyable. Previously in S2, there was a lot of choke points, very narrow. You'd need like 16 towers to build from the pass to the dragon. While they did change that in S2 Plus, where it's only 8 towers. But yeah, 8 towers to the ramp. But yeah, overall, I think this should be good for the newer players coming into S2. So this is just other changes. They basically won't recommend, if you're a new player and you're trying to apply for an alliance, they won't recommend you to the alliance with offline leadership. There's also changes to ST1, which is the calculations for the quest Legendary Spear, Conquering Swords, and Fearless Blades. It now begins 24 hours instead of 12 hours. And the naming convention for Season T1, Ranged Assault, is now Battle Acuity. I can see how this is a bit confusing and why they changed it, because in your own researches, for the marksman, or sorry, there's range assault already, and there's range defense. So it's a 10% buff. So that's most likely why they're changing it. Moving on, policies related to gems gathering now increases your CP recovery speed. The technology gem gathering has now been added. They also removed the alliance tech related to destroying barricades and now replaced with gathering speed for all resources. They removed policies relating to new server openings in Season 1, as some of these policies would increase your Legion capacity. Legion capacity now has been increased for all heroes from the beginning of Season 1. So I'm not so sure if this is a flat rate increase or like a max cap increase from the start, but only time will tell and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, per level elixir production and daily resource healing has been increased for hospital buildings on all servers. This is big. This is big. So they're buffing resource healing and elixir production on all servers. This is what we like to see, because this game revolves around like the free healing and the hospital. You don't take so much deaths, you can keep fighting. And having this change is a really big improvement. Improved unit promotions. So when you promote a unit and you want to keep promoting the rest of your units, your preference will remain the same. So when you click the training building, it will say you can upgrade it again. So it'll be retained for the next time you open the unit training page. Now, we're done with those changes. Let's talk about the combat experience. Oh, this is the juicy part. There's some buffs here and some reworks that are actually crazy. But moving on to the a bit more boring bit. So now you can filter heroes, artifacts, and war pets. There is auto positioning for melee units improvements, so they move more naturally. Normally, when they group up, they like clump up all in one and start marching at the same march speed. So I'm assuming that's fixed. Improved legion marching. Legions will now move freely, trying to enter nearby buildings or cities. And in the entrance of balance, this is the juicy part, the following changes have been made to the heroes and artifact skills. Biggest of them all, they buffed Tohar. So Tohar normally could it like for 5 seconds, after every 5 normal attacks, Tohar channels Rage of Plateau, dealing damage to the target legion every second for up to 5 seconds. So its channeling duration is 5 seconds. And before, it used to, only while you're channeling do you get Tohar's buff. Now moving interrupts this channel. So you basically normal attack for 5 seconds, and you begin channel for 5 seconds, and while you're channeling, you cannot move. Otherwise, it just gets cancelled. Now, here is the change. It went from base level 1, 100 damage factor to 250 damage factor. And now it goes from 300 damage factor to 500 damage factor. But wait, this is a bit high. We need to sort of scale this down. So total, if this was before, 300 times 5, that's 1,500 damage factor. But now, okay, Tohar's rage skill or passive skill, his first skill, it now triggers after 3 normal attacks. So you proc it faster, and the channel only lasts for 3 seconds. So this is 5 seconds times 300 damage factor. Now it's 3 seconds times 500 damage factor. That is massive. That is so big. So just how this changes the whole skill cycling, right? Normally with Tohar and Bertrand March, Tohar after 5 normal attacks, Tohar casts his passive skill, the Rage of the Plateau, and for 5 seconds you cannot cast another rage skill. You can't cast Birdie's rage skill, right? But now, so by turn 10, turn 11, you can then cast Birdie's rage skill. So past turn 10. Now, since this whole thing ends at turn 6, you can cast Birdie's rage skill at turn 7 or turn 8, which is just a really, really big increase. At turn 7 or turn 8 earliest. So yeah, it's very big increase. So now there's a cooldown of a 4-second cooldown. So, overall, really big buff to Tohar. Now, if a hero in Tohar's Legion casts a rage skill, the cooldown ends immediately. So this cooldown over here, so let's just say Tohar finishes channeling, Bertrand casts rage skill, that would then reset the cooldown, and then Tohar can channel again. Previously, so this is the change to Tohar's skill plateau protection. So this is what I was saying. While channeling the Rage of the Plateau, Tohar's Legion gains unyielding and shelter. So it's in the if we look at the wording here, while channeling. Now they changed it. When he begins channeling, he gains this buff for X amount of seconds. In this case, 5 seconds. Meaning, when you do channel Rage of the Plateau and you decide to like, hey, I'm gonna move backwards a bit, I'm gonna kite, I'm taking too much damage, you still get the buff of counterattack damage taken reduction and defense increase when you're moving. And when you cancel your channel, it lasts for 5 seconds. So this is really big in terms of your kite ability and survivability in the fights. Like, your whole kit does not necessarily rely on you finishing your channel on Ridge of the Plateau anymore. Your kit can start to revolve around starting to cast it, but you don't necessarily need to finish it. So yeah, no exact numbers or figures being changed here. So it's just how it activates, and the duration is what is changed. Okay, now we have this thing where it's like, okay, we don't need to finish channeling the rage skill necessarily because the whole point is beginning the channel in the first place. That also changes for the awaken skill. And the awaken skill's values also got buffed. So if you read this, after Tohar finishes channeling Ridge of the Plateau, he gains 35% attack. Now, Tohar finishes the channeling of Ridge of the Plateau, his Legion gains 35% attack for 5 seconds. So, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong here. So yeah, it's still, you need to still finish the channel, but it's 2 seconds longer in the buff for the attack. So yeah, Tohar is getting buffed. Mirage Orb is being reverted. Things are looking good for mages. Another change, the most stupidest artifact in the game, Oath of the Stormpeak, Hallowed Covenant. So previously, it summons a clone of your Legion for 30 seconds. The clone has your Legion skills, attributes, and can cast Rage Kill. However, it deals less damage and takes more damage than your Legion. So before, it was these values. Now, the Clone Legion deals 50%. So instead of a 90% damage, right, it's a 50%, 60%, 70%, 85%, and 100%. So I think this is a very big buff. This is a very big buff. It makes it viable. Essentially, at max level Oath of Stormpeak, you basically have another cav unit that doesn't take sevs and can generate rage. So if your Legion is a cavalry unit, it will gain an instant 1000 rage upon summoning. So it's an extra free rage skill. And really, that's all you need. Considering that this artifact now, the clone disappears after 10 seconds, you still get a free rage skill for a hero and deputy, and max level, it deals the same amount of damage. I think it's a good step in the right direction. It's a good change. It's a good change. So yeah. Other than that, here are some other changes. So this is just barricades. They just changed talents for barricades, hard hats, previously barricade destroyer, increasing engineering by 200% when your Legion destroys a barricade. Now it's Legion gains 10% enemy attack mitigation when building or destroying. So you just, are more protected when building. And they also improved description for engineering-related hero skills and talents. They reduced the difficulty of certain Dragon Trail, added a skip preview feature for certain Dragon Trail stages, fixed an issue where Tohar's skill Earth Conduit would not take effect on behemoths, fixed an issue where Ice Lizard Ice Core could not take effect at 2 stars. Fix an issue when enabling artifact skill autocast would cause you to attack enemies in the field other than your current target. I guess, well, to be honest, this artifact change, I still prefer casting artifacts manually. I guess the only exception would be, I don't know, just like a shield. That's the only time I'd use it personally. But normally you'd want to cast it manually. Improve balance by increasing infantry and cavalry combat features. Increase the charge rush distance, speed, duration for infantry skill berserk charge, and cavalry skill unyielding rush. This is a massive buff for calves. Calves can chase much faster, and infantry, right? Goresh Gogol can just like chase you down same distance as an old cav probably. And cavalry legions will no longer be intercepted by other legions when launching unyielding rush. Okay. Now there's more enjoyable events. You can now skip all the animations for Wheel of Destiny, Lucky Spins. You can use your wounded units in Celestial Battleground and Trial of Light. So if you're in the middle of the war, you can still claim your rewards, still do the events. Season reward notifications are now clear when entering a new season. Fix an issue and resource cost reduction would not be shown when training or promoting legions during the Chest of Charms event. So this was the spin wheel. You get 50% off. Like there's a percentage chance of getting resource reduction. Yeah. Fix an issue where progress and points would not be displayed properly in the college credit event. And an improved alliance system. So following player feedback, we have made changes to certain alliance officer privileges. Designated alliance officers can now appoint other members, remove certain alliance buildings and alliance members' personal buildings. Oh, yes. Like as an R5, if you can remove like turrets and okay, recall alliance members legion from Behemoth Slayer. So like if they're AFK and they're not ready checking, that makes like R4's jobs so much like easier. Okay, so this is more of like cosmetics. So we added 12 new emojis for Lilia, Hosk, and other heroes. I'm assuming it's like the level 10 happiness ones. Added a story playback feature allowing you to view previous story content while watching the story. Improve various story-related visual effects. Improve story-related skipping. You will be able to skip story content regardless of whether it's your first time watching it. Oh my god. Yes, please. Improve character behavior and visual effects inside your city, making characters more lively and natural. So other improvements. Improve unit appearances for Wilderberg. Okay, this is a nerf. I personally use Wilderberg, as you can see here. And I don't want other people to know that I'm T5. No thanks. This is a big nerf. That's one of the main reasons why I'm still Wilderberg. Added a server hotspot feature. Once observing other servers become available on your server, you can enable this feature on the map to see where the most active areas are. I guess this is more like understanding where potential fights can be. Like, oh, based on the server hotspots in this data, this is where most of the fighting was. Maybe this means this is a good defensive point. Then R4s, R5s can then decide, okay, we will build here, set up our defense, and we will hold this choke point. Seems like this is where majority of the wars happen. So yeah. We're ending it soon. Fix an issue when displaying levels for enemies during the Season 2 season story. You can now view the sources of unobtained artifacts. Improved user experience for selling Warped skills. It's now more difficult to carry out an action by mistake. So I'm assuming it's just like a pop-up. Are you sure you want to sell this and such? And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. And overall, like Tohar's getting buffed. Oath of Storm Peak, not super trash, but we need to see first how it actually goes. And yeah, I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.